Alright, welcome everyone to week 1 of the St. Louis VGC Draft League. Here we have Cthulhu versus Jeb. This is a highly looking forward to matchup. Both players ranked in our top 10 when we sent out the coaches poll, so very interested to see how this goes. Sorry, I'm just getting stuff finished setting up on my end. Apologize, give me one moment. Yeah, Cthulhu, also the coach of the Frosted Flakes, was the number 3 team in our rankings. Jeb of the Temporal Tower Joy Ribbons was ranked 7th. We see Cthulhu brought Snorlax, Frosslass, Incineroar, Ditto, Gallade, and it went away before I could finish. I was, again, getting myself set up, but we are good to go. So let's see how this battle goes. We see the lead of Raichu and Sylveon, and that is Mega Raichu Y over on that side versus Gallade and Palafin. And I believe, I'm just going to double check, I'm going to pull up roster so I can see that should just be regular Gallade. I don't know if anyone drafted Mega Gallade. So bear with me, sorry as I'm kind of jumping into this last second here. Yes, that is just regular Gallade. Okay. And also, bear with me, I've never commentated a game that I wasn't playing in live, so I'm a rookie to this, so go easy on me. We're going to see Palafin switch out here for Snorlax. I assume we're probably going to see Raichu Mega Evolve here on turn 1 as we do. No real electric threat to keep the Lightning Rod. Just a fake out coming out from Raichu into the correct target here. And Sylveon's going to get a free Hyper Voice off. We do see the Roselli Berry on the Gallade. So it does take that pretty well with the Berry. Kind of in a tough spot here though now. Raichu threatening both Pokemon with Focus Blast and Electric Move into Gallade for a knockout. Why am I blanking on the name of the move? So yeah, this Raichu Sylveon's in a pretty good position here right off the bat. Snorlax can do a multitude of things. I don't know the sets on any of these Pokemon, so I don't know what this specific Snorlax wants to do. I'm very interested to see how Cthulhu tries to get out of this spot he is in. Zap Cannon is the name of the move I was looking for. That does take out the Gallade with a crit. The crit, I am very confident, did not matter. So it's going to be a single target Hyper Voice into the Snorlax. Doing pretty significant damage. It is Citrus Berry on the Snorlax, pretty much taking that damage completely away. It is just a Rock Slide on the Snorlax. Very interesting to see. Snorlax is the slowest thing on the field, so I won't be getting any flinches with that. We do see the Palafin now in hero mode come back onto the field. Still not really loving where it's at in front of that Raichu, though. We do know Raichu is not bulky, not a very bulky Pokemon at all. So I don't know my Palafin into Raichu calcs. I don't know like how much a Jet Punch would do. But this lead of Raichu and Sylveon is definitely putting in some work here for Jeb in this matchup. Yeah, I feel like Raichu probably has Focus Blast, but at this point might try to hide it. We do see the Jet Punch. Let's see how much this does. It is enough for the knockout. Okay, again, I did not know those calcs. I didn't know if it would pick it up. It does. It is Life Orb Palafin. So that probably had something to do with it picking up there. We do see another Hyper Voice into both. Now we are just going to see a Body Slam into the Sylveon. Doing pretty good damage there. You would think probably in Jet Punch range now there for the Sylveon. We will see Jeb's third Pokemon now. It is the Gyarados. Probably safe to assume this is the Intimidate Gyarados. It is. Moxie Gyarados can be fun, but very good spot for Intimidate to come down on both these physical attackers. So it's probably safe to assume speed order here is Palafin, Gyarados, Sylveon, and Snorlax. What does Palafin want to do? That's the big question here. How does he deal with this Gyarados? We've seen Rock Slide and Body Slam so far on the Snorlax. So we've seen 2 of the 4 moves there. I believe we've only seen a Hyper Voice on the Sylveon. In comes the Incineroar to return the Intimidate onto the Gyarados. And we do see Power Whip coming out of the Gyarados. Incin dodges it. Not too relevant of a dodge, seeing how Incin did switch into that move. We do see the Hyper Beam being blasted off from Sylveon. That is enough to take out the Snorlax. Pretty safe assumption that was always going to pick up with the Hyper Voice damage we've been seeing. So, good play there, getting rid of the Snorlax. Sylveon is stuck now. So it is pretty safe to fake out Gyarados, and then you do get a free turn with Palafin if you want, because Sylveon can't move. So Palafin could be free to do whatever it wants this turn, if that's the play we decide to go for. So it is. These are the final 2 Pokemon for Cthulhu. We have not seen the 4th yet for Jeb. Gyarados is going to protect, probably expecting that fake out to come out, which it is into the Gyarados. Very straightforward play, but again, Palafin gets a free attack, but it is into the protected Gyarados. A little bit behind in the matchup, trying to make a play to get back in the game. Jeb reads it right, just protects the Gyarados. A -1 Power Whip. Man, I should have done some calcs for commentating. I assume a -1 Power Whip, if it lands, would still get the Palafin from here. And to be honest, I don't know how he gets through the Gyarados, even if it does live. It is just going to be a Jet Punch into the Sylveon. It is enough to pick up. That is just such a strong priority move, especially when you have Life Orb behind it. And we do see the Power Whip. It should definitely pick up now with the Life Orb chip. Again, I think it probably does even without it, but again, I don't know my calcs. So this is going to be a pretty tough spot for Incineroar to get through. Very good damage on the Darkest Lariat. More than I would have expected there. I'm curious if it's an offensive Incineroar, or it's not a very bulky Gyarados, or a combination of the 2. We do see Lucario come out. I do know this is regular Lucario because I own Mega Lucario. So again, this match pretty much over. We do see the close combat revealed, and he does find out Chople Berry. That's a nice piece of information to get before going into Game 2. You do learn what item this Incineroar is holding. So don't look at that play as like, oh, nothing happened. He just gets the Incineroar kill and wins the game. Information is key in closed team sheets, and these are our best 2 out of 3 closed team sheets. So learning that Chople Berry is actually very big. So Jeb is going to take Game 1, as we will move on to Game 2. Oh, I didn't prepare well enough. I don't have the little 1 to put in there. So bear with me as I do this on the fly. I will get better at this as the season goes on, I promise. Let's make this little. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, as they are starting up Game 2. So, Game 1, very kind of straightforward match. Jeb kind of won the leads, and Cthulhu tried to come back from it and just couldn't. He did learn all 4 of Jeb's Pokemon. He did at least see the Lucario at the end, so he doesn't know what 4 were brought. Again, information is just huge in these matchups. We did learn the Chople Berry for the Incineroar. So we'll see if there's any switch-ups. We have Ditto, Frosslass, Torkoal, or Mamoswine come to this one. Cthulhu did not bring his one and only Mega to Game 1. Very interesting. No Mega Frosslass was brought. I believe Mega Frosslass more than likely will get outsped by the Mega Raichu. Again, I don't have sets or anything in front of me, so I don't know I don't know spreads and all that indefinitely with what these two players are running, but I think it's usually safe to assume that Raichu will outspeed, and a Zing Zap into Frosslass could be devastating. So I can see why that was not brought, but gonna have to find a pivot here to force a game 3. That Raichu just looks like such a problem in this matchup. I don't know where the counter is on Cthulhu's team. I'm sure he's prepped for the Raichu. He knew what matchup he was getting into. I mean, he could, I guess, Ditto for your own Lightning Rod, which would be very interesting. I would love to see that play here. So we do see the leads of Frosslass and Incineroar versus the same lead from Jeb, that Raichu Sylveon that did so well in Game 1. If you pivot well, you could just fake out this turn if you wanted to, but then you're going to give up the Mega, so then Lightning Rod's then gone. I think a very fun play, I don't know if it's the best play, a very fun play would be pivot Incin into Ditto, get your own Lightning Rod to protect your Frosslass, and then start firing off for Frosslass. Again, fake out probably just the better play, but the Ditto one's fun. So we are going to see Frosslass Mega here into Mega Frosslass. I assume we don't see Frosslass Megas first. So Frosslass in base form was faster than Raichu, which I think is fine. I think that's normal. Raichu here should still be the faster of the Megas. We do just see fake out, so we don't see that confirmed, but more than likely Raichu should be faster. And we do see the Aurora Veil set up on the side of Cthulhu. Setting up those defenses. And we do just see this Sylveon continue to fire off Hyper Voices. That's good damage to an Aurora Veil. I mean, based on that damage, this Zing Zap's gonna hurt. Again, we haven't seen item on Sylveon, I believe, so it might be safe to assume it's Fairy Feather. Very common item for Sylveon, and that damage looks very good through an Aurora Veil. I turn the game sound down just a little bit. I don't know where the right level is for that. Again, a little new to this. So we do see Zap Cannon into Incineroar. No need to go for the Focus Blast, if they even have Focus Blast. Seeing how we know what item that Incineroar is holding. We do see an Ice Beam into the Raichu, not Blizzard. Very interesting. Hyper Voice will pick up the Incineroar. I want to look, see what's on Jeb's roster. Are we scared of Wide Guard? I don't. I'm a little confused by the Ice Beam over Blizzard. I'd love to hear the thought process behind that afterwards. I'm sure it is there for a reason. We do see Gallade hit the field in place of Incineroar here, though. So once again, this lead from Jeb just causing so many issues. I believe I called Zap Cannon Zing Zap at the start of this game, so yeah, Zap Cannon. I don't know why that move name is causing me so many problems. But it is fired into Gallade, gets the guaranteed para. We do see the Shadow Ball coming into Sylveon. Not doing as much as you'd like it to do. We do see the Hyper Voice. Gallade's Roselli Berry will activate again. I believe it should take this very comfortably based on the damage we saw in the first game. And the Aurora Veil is up now, so taking even less from it as it did. But Frosslass does go down. Gallade sets up the Trick Room. So this was the way back into the game, is you're going to have to get some stuff done in Trick Room. It's really your only way back in. Let's see if they can capitalize on it. We do see the Snorlax. Probably the best option for a Trick Room sweep here at the end. With these still being the first two Pokemon for Jeb, though, it's going to have to be... It's a very tall ask for the Snorlax. Now, the Para is making Gallade slower, so therefore faster in Trick Room, so that could end up playing a factor. But this might be too big of a lead for Jeb to have it flip here in the Trick Room dimensions. Sylveon is just going to protect or detect. I believe it's the first time we've seen that move from it, and we do see protect from Raichu. So both of them do have protecting moves here to try to stall out this Trick Room. We do see Snorlax take advantage, though, and set up the Belly Drum. And Gallade Destiny Box. Alright, so this got a little interesting. Unfortunately, HP stat might have been slightly off for Snorlax here, because we do know it's holding the Citrus Berry, but it is at 50% and the Citrus Berry did not activate. So, a little bit of a rounding issue there with the exact HP stat of the Snorlax, but it does still have the Belly Drum up. It is still bulky, so it more than likely might get... It probably will still utilize a Citrus Berry, so not the end of the world here for the Snorlax. So we will see... Will it have Earthquake or some... It has Rock Slide, so we know it has at least that for spread damage. We are going to see the Gyarados come in to give it a -1, so it will be down to +5 attack from the Snorlax. It is just going to be a Body Slam into the Snorlax, or into the Gyarados spot, picking up the one-hit KO. And a Sacred Sword into the Raichu to pick up the Raichu. A full para there on the Gallade would have been devastating, giving the Raichu a free knockout on that turn. But it does not get full para. It does take out the Raichu, and we will see the final two Pokemon here for Jeb. We do know the Sylveon will be coming back, along with whatever the fourth is that we have yet to see. We do see it is Lucario coming in that fourth spot, so same four Pokemon as we saw in Game 1 make the reappearance. All of a sudden, this is a game again with the utilization of Trick Room and the Snorlax having the Belly Drum. So this has turned into a very interesting endgame here. What does Snorlax have? We've seen Rock Slide, we've seen Body Slam, and we've seen Belly Drum. I don't believe we've seen its fourth move. I don't think we've seen Protect out of it. So we do see another Sacred Sword coming out into the Lucario. We'll take it down to, I assume it is its Sash. Yes, we learned Lucario is holding the Focus Sash. We do see a Body Slam guaranteeing the knockout on the Lucario. That means the Sylveon will get an attack off. More than likely, it's probably going to be this Hyper Voice, which should take out the Gallade, and it will bring the Snorlax down low. We'll see the Citrus Berry now activate, though, for the Snorlax. Bringing it out of Hyper Voice range, so this might come down to a Sylveon hitting a Hyper Beam. We more than likely see Sylveon protect this turn, stall out the Trick Room. There is the Detect from the Sylveon. We see the Body Slam coming out of Snorlax into the Detect. And if I counted right, that should be the last turn of Trick Room, and it was. Dimensions return to normal. Sylveon now has the speed advantage again. Will they land the Hyper Beam, and will it be enough? And I assume you have to go for it. There's no way Sylveon can live this Body Slam. It does hit the Hyper Beam. Is it enough for the knockout on the Snorlax? It is enough. Sylveon picks it up and gets the 2-0 win for Jeb. Starting their season off 1-0. Cthulhu will fall to 0-1. Very interesting endgame there. Jeb ran away with it early. Cthulhu did a very good job bringing back specifically Game 2. That was a very fun endgame. So congrats to both these players. Very fun Week 1. And yeah, make sure you check out future battles in the future weeks of this league. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone.